I never thought my life would take such an unexpected turn. One minute, I was just an average guy living in a small town and working a regular job. The next minute, I was on my way to marrying an alien woman. And the craziest part? It wasn't something I had planned. It all started on a warm evening when I met her. The alien woman who would change everything. I was walking through the park, my usual route after work, when I saw her sitting on a bench, staring up at the sky. She stood out, not just because she was incredibly beautiful, but because she was unlike anyone I had ever seen. Her skin was a soft shade of purple, her eyes large and glowing with an ethereal blue hue. Her hair, long and silver, flowed like liquid light. She didn't seem to belong here on Earth, and yet, there she was. I had always been a bit of a loner, not one to strike up conversations with strangers, but something about her drew me in. I hesitated for a moment, but then I walked up to her. "Excuse me," I said, my voice a little unsure. "Are you lost?" She turned to me with a smile that lit up her whole face. "No," she said, her voice gentle, almost melodic. "I'm not lost. But I think I may need your help." That's how it started. She introduced herself as Lira, and over the course of the next few weeks, we talked. At first, it was small talk, about the weather, about how strange Earth must seem to her. I learned that she was an ambassador from a distant planet, sent to Earth for diplomatic reasons. She had come to understand our culture, learn our ways, and hopefully form an alliance between our two species. But as time passed, our conversations turned deeper. We found common ground in our hopes and dreams, in our shared curiosity about the universe. We spent hours together, walking, talking, and even just sitting in comfortable silence. Lira was unlike anyone I had ever met. She was kind, intelligent, and compassionate. It wasn't long before I realized that I had developed feelings for her. Feelings that went beyond friendship. One evening, after dinner, as we were walking along a quiet street, she suddenly turned to me. Her expression was serious, but there was something gentle in her eyes. "I need to tell you something. Human," she said, using the word human like it was a part of her speech, but without any malice. "My family wants us to get married." I stopped walking, caught off guard by her statement. "Married?" I asked, my voice rising with surprise. "But I'm not even sure." She looked at me with a calm, understanding gaze. "I know this must be unexpected, but my people have a tradition. When a union between two different species is formed, it is considered an alliance, not just between the individuals, but between the worlds. I have come to care for you deeply, and my family believes it's the right time for us to be bound together." I stood there, speechless. Marrying an alien? It seemed absurd, like something out of a sci-fi movie. But the more I looked into her eyes, the more I realized that she wasn't asking out of obligation. She was asking because she genuinely cared about me. And, to my surprise, I realized I cared about her too. "I didn't expect this either," I said finally, my voice quiet. "But I can't deny the way I feel about you. I'm willing to try. If it's really what you want, if it's what you need, then I'll marry you." Lyra smiled, a soft and relieved smile, and for a moment, I thought I saw a flicker of hope in her eyes. It's what we both need. We are stronger together, not just for us, but for both of our worlds. And so, everything changed. Over the next few weeks, I met her family, who turned out to be just as kind and understanding as she was. They didn't treat me like an outsider. Instead, they welcomed me with open arms. They explained the ancient rituals and customs that came with their form of marriage, which wasn't just about love. It was about mutual respect, alliances, and strengthening the bond between species. There was much to learn, but I felt prepared to do it because I knew I wasn't just marrying an alien. I was marrying Lira. The wedding ceremony was nothing like I had ever imagined. There were no traditional white dresses or tuxedos, No church or hall filled with people. Instead, we stood in a clearing under the stars, surrounded by our family and a handful of close friends. The ceremony was short, but it was filled with meaning. We didn't need grand speeches or extravagant vows. We simply exchanged promises in a language that felt ancient and yet entirely personal. Her people's traditions were deeply spiritual, and although I didn't fully understand all of it, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace as I stood beside her. As the ceremony concluded, I realized that my life had completely changed. I was now bound to an alien woman, not just in marriage, but in a way that connected our worlds, our futures, and our destinies. It wasn't the kind of life I had envisioned, but it was one I was more than ready to embrace. Lira turned to me with a soft smile. "Thank you," she whispered, "for trusting me, for trusting us." I kissed her gently, my heart swelling with emotion. "Thank you for choosing me," I said, the words feeling more meaningful than I ever imagined. And just like that, my ordinary life had become extraordinary. I was married to an alien woman, but more than that, I was married to the most incredible person I had ever known. Together, we would face whatever came next, united, strong, and ready to build a future that bridged the gap between our worlds. The Alien Bride is a story of unexpected love, cultural differences, and the beauty of two worlds coming together. It's a tale of breaking boundaries and finding companionship in the most unlikely places, showing that love can transcend species, planets, and even galaxies.